Hey everybody, this is Lee from PcjunkieMods here. So today I'm just kind of chilling back here behind this chassis because I've had a couple comments that said I'm kind of boring. So I thought I would just do like, you know, a mime act or something just to come into the camera. Whatever. So today in front of me I got the new Phanteks Evolv ATX chassis. So we're going to take a little look at it and see what we think. So far my first impression is perfect. I love it. It's got a lot of room. I love the other two. I love the look from the front. This one is the gray, the silverish gray color. I think the options for it are black and gray. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and take a look at this chassis here. We got the power button up here on the top, which is a nice feature, nice button. Then on the front, we got some USB 3.0. We got your audio jacks, and you got a reset button. And it's got this nice little flippy door here. Honestly, I think it looks pretty good without this because mine was actually popped off when in shipping. So when I pulled it out of the box, you know, I didn't realize that there was this piece until it fell out of the bag. Then down here you got the, I think the hard drive activity LED, or is that the power LED? I'm not sure. But there's an LED behind the pop out front. Just, this is kind of the same as the first Evolv. As you can see, it has this little deal here and the LEDs right here. And then you also have your, I think it just pops out. I didn't pull it out yet. You pop out mesh filter for the front. And as you can see on the front here, we have 240 millimeter fans. This also supports up to 3 120 millimeter fans. These two come with the chassis. That's pretty much it on the front here. I'm gonna go ahead and roll it around to the back. On the back here, we have the I/O has actually got 8 expansions, which is nice. Then you got the slidable fan adjustments. So this is 140 millimeter that comes with the chassis, and you could also put a 120 millimeter. There's also this sliding spot here to possibly put a reservoir or something like that, and then the lower mounted power supply. As you can see across the top here, it's vented. It's vented across the back, and it was also vented across the front, which makes good airflow for your exhaust. This piece does not come off like the first Evolv did. There's actually 4 screws. There's one in the front here, one over here, and then 2 on the back. So I won't be having the same problem what I did with the other chassis, because I get in the habit of picking the chassis up from the top, and that chassis, every time I picked it up, of course, the top came off. So the doors have the same mounting as the original Evolv, which is nice. They got the little nipples here that when you close it, it locks into the spots here. This one has a really big window, which is really nice. So that means I don't have to modify it. And it does have the hinges, and the door does slide right off. And the doors are a very thick aluminum, so they're pretty solid. It's got a little weight behind it. We'll go ahead and start on the back. So on the back here, we got, I think we measured this earlier, and I'll just go ahead and pull out the ruler just for good sake here. Dwight checked it out, and here, behind the hard drive cage, we have 1.25 inches, and then behind the motherboard tray, you got just under 1 inch. I want to say it's about 3/4 inch. Yeah, it's just over 3/4 inch. Because as you can see, this right here it dips down a little bit to make more room here. So that's still pretty good. And then as you can see in the bottom here, it's all chambered. There's a subfloor in there, which is pretty nice. I think this is for an optional 3.5 drive. There's 4 grommets down in the bottom. And then next to the optional addition there, you have the hard drive cage, which actually has a spot for either 2 2.5s or 2 3.5s. This is removable. If you do remove it, that's where you'd mount your pump bracket. And then you'd be able to use that 3.5 addition, because with this in here, I don't think there's any way you'll be able to use that. And then you still have the, you're sticking with the drop and lock feature on the SSD brackets. This one does come with 2, which is a nice feature to actually be able to put 2 back here. because on the front side, you'll see in a minute, there's not really anything pre-installed there. They still have their nice straps for cable management. There's plenty of ties down this way, and then they have a couple wire tie. Well, they only have the one. I thought they had more than one. Actually, here's a spot you could zip tie some wires. And then you have your fan controller, which is PWM controlled. There's a wire here somewhere. And then that pretty much covers the back. They got the good sturdy grommets, and like all their other chassis. So, and then you'll notice that there's these plastic pieces here. They're actually on the other side. I'll go ahead and roll it around here and show you. They all say Phanteks. Well, basically what these are is the wire management for your hard drive cages. So the case does come with 3 brackets that basically go in here. So there's 2 hooks, one on each side, and then a spot where you would screw into this. And basically when you put that in there, you would take that out so you can run the wires to the hard drive. So depending on where you locate your hard drives, if you even use any, or you can buy extras, because this one, it comes with 3, but it has the option for 5 here. Speaking of hard drives, you have another drop and lock spot there. You could take this guy if you want to show off your SSD, put them on the side here, and depending on which direction you put it in, you could run the wires right around in the back here and behind. Or you could run it, there's a little cutout right here, which is nice, so you'd be able to do it either way, depending on, because not all SSDs have their logos on the same. The floor does have plenty of ventilation, it's all perforated, and then there's a wire management spot here, so maybe if you want to run your GPU wires out directly into your GPUs, that's perfect. This piece here, I'm assuming, is also the pump mount. No, it's not really lining up, so I'll look more into that later. But this piece is removable in case you want to put a radiator here in the front, and depending on what size radiator will depend on how much room you eat up in that location. If you do put other than a 120 or a 140 radiator in there, you would have to remove the hard drives down there, most likely. I haven't tried it. I will have to do a build with most of the chassis. Obviously, I haven't done any of the built in any of the chassis yet. It's just no space or time. But I'm going to start doing that. Dwight twisted my arm, so. Anyway, so if you pull that out, you could put a 360 rad, a 280 rad, a 240 rad, you know, whatever you want in the 120 and 140 size, no bigger than a 360 in length. The top also supports that same configuration. So yeah, there's 2 screws here, and then this bracket actually comes out, and you can mount your fans and your radiator or whatever you're going to put up there. So as far as support on the inside, the motherboard tray supports ITX, micro ATX, and full ATX. And then I guess the last thing to talk about would be the little cutout here in case you wanted to see your logo on your power supply. So that about wraps it up. I'd like to say thank you to Phanteks for sending me the chassis and giving me a chance to get a first look at it. Stay tuned for some new videos coming, hopefully from the new shop. Thanks again for watching my video. Until next time.